Hey, it's been a long time since I made a video. Just want to say thank you to the people that subscribe to this channel. I didn't really think that people would subscribe to this channel, so thank you. But this video is going to be a reply to one of my videos. The person's name is My Channel Muslims. I think I butchered it. I'm sorry. But the person asked me what resources or things I did to help study or remember the information. So I'm just going to make a video about I'll make a video about what I did overall. So I took calculus 1 this semester, and I passed it. I'm so happy I passed it. I will never have to do it again. I might learn it on my own again, because I'm that type of person. But I barely passed. So I'm not the best person to give you, like, oh, the best way to get an A or a B or even a C, Sometimes, I don't pass. So, but this video is going to be what I did to pass, which is, I feel like calculus is the hardest subject for someone to have dyscalculia. So the first thing I did was I got a whiteboard. I was tired of being basically clueless about what is being due for all of my classes. So I got a whiteboard from Walmart. I think it cost like $10. I only had $10 at the time, and I was like, I need to do something about this. So I got me a whiteboard. And I made a color-coded legend of all my subjects. So that's the first thing I did. I never done this ever in my life. I'm always doing it now with everything I do. But I made a color-coded legend for like my subjects. So the subjects I did was biology, which I used purple for. I had a PE class, which was choices for life. I made that red. Blue for psychology, and green for calculus 1. So I did that. I'll put a box next to the assignments that I had each week or daily, next to the assignment, and color it in the color of that subject, and also put a box. I already said that. Every time when I finished the subject, I would just erase it off. I would always have the date next to it. Some of them were the same date for the same subject. So I'll put like, sorry, I'm looking outside. I'll put a kind of bracket around it and put the date. So that's what I did. Maybe I'll show you that during spring. I'm on vacation right now. Holiday vacation for school. But that's the first thing I did. And that helped a lot with keeping everything up to date and not feeling all over the place and not knowing stuff, because that's one of the things with dyscalculia. You're kind of all over the place, and dyslexia. Yeah. The second thing I did was to really understand my subjects that I'm learning. So like I said, I did biology, PE, and psychology with calculus 1. So I really took classes that I liked, and also that I fully understood. I'm not saying that I understood it in the beginning. I'm just saying, like, I really got the chance to understand it in a short amount of time. So really, the main part is knowing yourself, like knowing what subjects you like and what you're good at. So I feel like if you have dyscalculia, you kind of know what you're good at and what you're lacking, because you always get discouraged with math, So you kind of know what you're good at or not. So that's one of the things. That's another thing that I did. I really got to understand it, my other subjects, so that in return gave me more time to understand and study math. Mind you, I got a C in that class and calculus. So remember, this video is about how to pass. So I gave me more time to study for math, but I didn't get a high grade. But that's number 2. That's what I did. Number 3, which I recommend for anybody who is in college or in high school, middle school, anything, any kind of school setting, is to really go know your instructor or professor. Like, get to know them, have a relationship with them. Like, daily with math, I would ask them. I would ask her questions. I would like update her with stuff. When you have Dyscalculia and you notify it to your institution, they will have disability services. So I had to actually communicate with her because I got a chance to get a formula sheet for math. So I really had to communicate with her to see what I needed to know fully and what I needed to know, like, that I didn't really need to stress about because I got to have it as a formula sheet. So really get to know your professors, really research the professors the first time. Well, this is like the second time, but I failed pre-cal. I took a male professor. I didn't get to understand him and know him. He was a really good professor for people that is comfortable with math, but I wasn't comfortable with math, so it wasn't a good setting for me. And he was really good for giving you inspiration and advice, but other than that, I could not pass the class. I was always failing. But second time around, I took pre-cal. I took the same professor that I took for calculus, and she was awesome. Like, I really did my research on picking the right professor. I went on Rate My Professor. I looked at the reviews that are up to date, not like from 20 years. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. Like, don't look at the reviews that are late, and look at the ones that give you a grade on my Rate My Professor, because some of them don't give you their grade, and they write all this awful stuff about the professor. I'm like, maybe you didn't try yourself, you know. But really try to get to know your professor. That's one of the key things, I think, because, you know, even in the real world, the more you know somebody, the more likely you will help somebody. The more likely you'll be in favor of that person. So I learned that in psychology. So, okay. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the time. So for my channeling Muslims, the things I did on top of getting disability services from my school is doing those 3 things: getting a whiteboard, understanding my other subjects so I can have time for math, and also kind of blanked out. Also, know your professor, communicate with them, stress to them how hard it is for you, and they will try their best to help you. Now, all professors are like that. That's why I say you need to research and get the best professor that you can and be on top of it and really try to get ahead of everybody else with getting a good professor. So those are the 3 things. Yeah, I'm at 9:32, so for some reason it gives me only 10 minutes on YouTube. I don't know if that's a thing that they do, but I have to go. Bye.